channel. In today's video we're going to talk about the top 10 most improvised moments in Harry Potter. Moments that weren't scripted and were made up by the actors or actresses. Now some of these have official confirmation that they are actually made up, like the actors and actresses made these bits up. Others are just rumoured. So if you want to hear these improvised moments, then do keep on watching. And if this is the first time you're seeing this face, hello and welcome to my channel. If you would like to become a Poppet with us, please click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. All my social medias are linked in the description of this video. Go see what I'm up to on those. And guys, I am trying my hardest to get to my next big milestone of 2,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate you hitting that little red subscribe button. And also, just quickly, I would like to give a massive thank you to my Patreons. They help me keep this channel running just that little bit more. If you'd like to know any more about Patreon, that is also linked in the description of this video. Go check it out. If you think it's for you, then come join us. Let's talk about these improvised moments. Okay, at number 10, in Order of the Phoenix, Harry kisses Cho under mistletoe in the Room of Requirement. When he returns back to the Gryffindor common room, he is sat talking to Hermione and Ron about his experience because it is his first kiss. Now, Ron can't understand why she was crying, so Hermione reels off, you know, why Cho was crying, talking about how she must be feeling and all this. And Ron obviously replies with, surely not one person can have all these emotions, which then Hermione replies with, just because you've got the emotional range of a teaspoon. Now, then Hermione laughs, Ron laughs, Harry laughs. Now that was real, it was not scripted, and it was left in because it looked cute. Basically, Hermione thought the line was ridiculous as she said it, so did Ron, and they had a giggle about it. So that laugh Hermione does, it was a genuine laugh. Okay, number 9, that horrific scene in Deathly Hallows where Bellatrix tortures Hermione in the Malfoy manner, obviously carving mudblood into Hermione's arm. Hermione wanted to get this scene right, so she actually researched what it's like to get tortured just so she could get the scene right. During the filming of that scene, Emma Watson and Helena, obviously who plays Bellatrix, or is it Helena? Helena, you know who I mean. They improvised most of the scene and Yates just left the camera rolling. Number 8, we're going to talk about the end of Chamber of Secrets where Lucius Malfoy, Harry Potter are in Dumbledore's office. Jason Isaacs, who played Lucius Malfoy, added a line in this scene stating, I hope Harry is always there to save the day. Daniel Radcliffe came up with a quick line back, don't worry, I will be, which was pretty impressive for the young actor. And I think it's been said numerous times by so many different people, there is a lot of sass sometimes from Daniel Radcliffe during the Harry Potter films, and that was definitely one of his sassy moments. At the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2, when Voldemort's doing his speech to everybody outside of Hogwarts, obviously Draco goes over, and as he's passing, he gets hugged by Voldemort. Now, Tom Felton said that hug was not meant to happen. Now, that scene apparently was shot quite a few times, but Draco, or Tom Felton, was only hugged the once. But for some reason, that shot made the final cut of that scene, which is weird. It's a very awkward hug. But for some reason, the hug that Voldemort gave Draco made him seem quite scary instead of like, you'd think it would soften him like, oh, he's huggable. But no, I think it did make him seem quite more intimidating, quite scary. Number 6, at the end of Chamber of Secrets, when Hermione comes into the Great Hall and Harry and Ron see that Hermione is okay, she is no longer petrified, Hermione runs up, she hugs Harry, but then goes to hug Ron, but feels awkward and shakes his hand. Now, Emma didn't want to hug both of the boys. Let's not forget they were only children, and we all know boys are the ones that had the cuties, not the girls, really. So she made a deal just to hug Harry and give Ron this awkward handshake that did look awkward, but I thought it fit in quite well, because when you fancy somebody, it becomes awkward. So that was the start of their blooming relationship in my eyes. So I think it worked pretty well. Well done, Emma Watson. This happens to be one of my favourite ones, number 5. In the Chamber of Secrets, let's talk about when Harry and Ron took Polyjuice Potion to turn into Crabbe and Goyle. Harry, as Goyle, forgot to take his glasses off, which raised questions to Malfoy. Malfoy asked why he was wearing glasses, and then obviously Harry Goyle replied with, reading. Malfoy forgot his line and he replied with, I didn't know you could read. It was brilliant, it was quick, and it was kept in because it was a really good, you wouldn't have known that was improvised. You know, for young actors and actresses, the improvised moments in these younger ones, I think that's really, really clever. They really got into it. They forgot the line, it's fine, I'll fix it. And they made it their own. And yeah, I thought that was a pretty good one, but that one definitely is one of my favourite ones. Okay, number 4. In Order of the Phoenix, when they're in the Ministry of Magic, obviously there is a part where all the Death Eaters come and they're around that archway and all of the Death Eaters have one child each. Bellatrix has hold of Neville. Now, in this scene, Helena, who plays Bellatrix, went a little bit too far. She got way too into the moment and she poked... what's his name? Is it Matthew Lewis who plays Neville? Oh my days, what's wrong with me? Well, she poked him in the wrong place and she poked him in the ear, but she actually perforated his eardrum. But I'm just going to say the actor who played Neville, I don't want to say Matthew again in case I'm wrong because I sound silly, but the actor who played Neville just carried on with the scene and played along. Helena didn't know she'd actually perforated his eardrum till a few days later and she felt absolutely terrible. But so would I if I perforated someone's eardrum. Number 3, this is also one of my favourites. At the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2, when Voldemort's doing his speech outside of Hogwarts, the camera was just left to roll and they were meant to do, you know, they were meant to do it themselves. It was all, they wanted it to be sort of improvised. During each scene, Voldemort picked different people to speak to, and obviously the one that got picked was Neville. Which brings us to Neville's speech was obviously not scripted too, and I do think I did hear that. So I now know why Neville's speech wasn't scripted, and it's because the whole thing wasn't scripted. Voldemort apparently, I can't remember the actor's name, I'm really, really sorry off the top of my head. Voldemort, literally every time this scene was shot, he was picking at different people, and the one where he picked at Neville was the one that was picked. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It was because Neville's speech really touched me. Number 2, when our lovely, lovely Arthur Weasley in the Chamber of Secrets come out with that really cool line that we all love. What exactly is the function of a rubber duck? This was his own line. He made this up. Again, when, you know, this scene was shot multiple times, like every scene. Well, every time they shot it, he came out with a different line. And he wanted to keep it, you know, kind of funny. And this was the one that was picked. So, yeah, he thought of that own line. And it is a very, very well-known line. So he picked well. And the last one, guys, number 1, going back to the Chamber of Secrets. Again, there was quite a few improvised moments in there. Again, at the end, when obviously Lucius Malfoy is with Harry, they come out of Dumbledore's office, and obviously Lucius learns that Harry has lost him his house elf, his slave. He gets angry and tries to cast a spell on Harry. Did you see what spell he tried to cast? That's right, Avada Kedavra. I'm just going to say this now. It's a good job Dobby was there to save the day because those films would have been cut short if he'd have managed to cast that curse. But that spell was actually improvised because at the time it was the only spell Jason Isaacs remembered. He'd forgotten the spell line. I don't know what he was originally meant to do or say, what spell he was meant to say, but that was the only one he could remember. But it was kept in for some reason. But I thought it was good that it was kept in, because it kind of gave us very early on that sense of how unstable and dangerous Lucius Malfoy can be. Well then, guys, they are top 10 improvised moments. Do you know any improvised moments? Let me know in the comments. Talk to me about these ones. Did you know that these were improvised? Yeah, did you know they were improvised? Is there any that you've learned? Is there something you've learned new from this video? Let me know if you didn't know any of these were improvised. But that is the end of the video, Potter Poppets. I love you all, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye, Potter Poppets.